My ex said no one would ever love me, but my wedding invitation proved her wrong. When I dropped the wedding invitation into his mailbox, I swear I could hear the ghost of his laughter echoing in my head, that same cruel laugh he gave me when he said, "No one's ever going to love you like I do." He was right about one thing: no one ever loved me like he did. Because his kind of love wasn't love at all. It was control, disguised as care. I met Ethan when I was 24, fresh out of college and still figuring out who I was. He was charming in that dangerous, movie villain kind of way, confident, funny, and always surrounded by people. He made me feel like I was the only one who could truly get him. For a while, I believed that, but over time, his charm turned into criticism. Suddenly, my clothes were too revealing, my friends were bad influences, and my dreams were unrealistic. The worst part? I believed him. He chipped away at my confidence until I started apologizing for simply existing. If I wore lipstick, it was for attention. If I stayed quiet, he'd mock me for being boring. Every compliment came with a sting, and every argument ended with the same sentence: "You're lucky I put up with you, no one else would." The night everything fell apart, I'd spent hours preparing dinner for our anniversary. He walked in late, drunk, with lipstick on his collar. When I confronted him, he laughed, actually laughed. Then he said it, the line that burned itself into my soul: "No one's ever going to love you like I do, so stop pretending you'll leave." That night, I did leave. I packed a bag, walked out the door, and cried in my car until sunrise. The following months were brutal. I felt hollow, like I'd lost my reflection. But therapy, late-night journaling, and the kindness of strangers slowly rebuilt me. I learned that love isn't supposed to make you smaller. It's supposed to help you grow. Fast forward 3 years. I was running a small photography business, finally smiling without guilt. That's when I met Daniel, a client who booked me to photograph his sister's engagement. He wasn't the type who swept me off my feet. Instead, he grounded me, patient, kind, and quietly strong. He listened without fixing, loved without suffocating, and saw beauty in the parts of me Ethan once made me hate. When Daniel proposed, it wasn't dramatic. He simply said, "You're my piece." And I knew he meant it. That's when I decided I wanted closure, not revenge, but something symbolic. So, I sent Ethan a wedding invitation. No note, no explanation, just the ivory card with our names embossed in gold: Daniel and Claire, celebrating a love built on kindness. A week later, I got an email from him. It started polite, then spiraled into jealousy. "You really moved on with that guy? You'll regret this. You know no one loves you like I did." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. His words only proved how right I was to walk away. But the universe has a sense of humor. On our wedding day, as I stood in my lace gown, my maid of honor whispered, "You'll never guess who's outside." I looked through the church window, and there he was, Ethan, standing in the parking lot, wearing a cheap suit and that same smug expression, like he expected me to run back. Instead, Daniel came up behind me, kissed my shoulder, and said, "You okay?" I smiled. Perfect. The ceremony began, and as the doors opened, sunlight poured in, drowning out everything behind me, including him. I walked forward, not once looking back. Later that night, I got a message from an unknown number. It was a picture of my wedding invite torn in half. Underneath it, he'd written, "You proved me wrong." I laughed, not out of spite, but freedom, because for years, I thought proving him wrong meant finding someone better. But standing there in my wedding dress, surrounded by love and peace, I realized I hadn't done this to prove anything to him. I did it to prove something to myself. That I was lovable, that I was enough, that no one's opinion, especially his, could define my worth again. And as the music faded and the world blurred into candlelight, I whispered to myself one last time, "He was right. No one will ever love me like he did." Thank God for that.